Hey Flosstube, I'm Misty Purcell. Welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, the 28th of October. Back a little bit later than usual. Usually I do a Friday or Saturday video, but life has been so busy that I am behind schedule. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you've been doing well. And if you're new here, thanks for checking me out. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Yeah, life has been crazy. I thought I was going to have more time to do things. There's like a million things on my to-do list and I'm not really getting to many of them. It's just been really busy with work, really busy with my Etsy shop, and I'm really grateful for all the orders and all the support and encouragement and enthusiasm. It's been awesome. I'm getting ready to release a new design that's coming up, so that's been keeping me very busy too. Got my mug of coffee. This is cup number 3 today. My awesome mug with knitting on it. I had the opportunity to meet the gentleman who makes these, and that's really cool. He's a knitter, weaver, spinner, and he does some crochet now too. I'll link his Etsy shop in case you need a knitted mug. There's also knitted lace mugs. They're really good size. And they're just really kind of nice to hold and holds a lot of coffee, which is very important. Thanks for all of your comments on my bat story last time. I'm glad to know so many of you could relate or were able to sympathize, and some of you had worse stories to tell. I don't envy anyone with scorpion problems. I guess you can't live anywhere without some kind of creature that's going to harass you. Okay, so first let's start with the winner of my Pass the Stash, and that was for this Buttercup Designs piece, Haunt the Night Away, or design, Haunt the Night Away, and the winner was Lisa S. Stitches. So Lisa, I already commented on your comment. Congratulations. Hope you'll enjoy stitching this. It's really cute. So if you can contact me at the email address I listed, then give me your address and I'll get it in the mail to you. Okay, what's next? I received a couple very, very generous gifts. So lots of stitchy kindness for me, and I am so appreciative. First, I received, and I didn't get a chance to ask this person if I could share this, so I'm just going to call her E. That way, if she doesn't want to be named, she won't be. Sorry for the reach. Okay. So E, in my last video I mentioned that I had this pattern. I had picked this up. The shop that I was at didn't have all of them. And so she contacted me and said, would you like them? I'd be glad to send them to you. And I was like, all of the Christmas rolls? What? Yeah, thank you. So she was so kind and she sent me the whole set. And I'm so excited. I love this so much. It's adorable. And she also sent me a really cute Halloween card. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And she just said, pass the stash when you're done. So that's what I will do. So that made my day. And then I got more kindness to make my day again, another day. Whoops. Oh no. All right. Please hold. Okay. So, if you watch Express Life Tifa, she is a Flosstuber. She's also on Instagram, and she's a friend of mine, and she's really sweet. So I had seen that she was stitching various, I mean, she's always working on something cool. It's quilting or it's stitching, or maybe she does some painting. She's always doing something cool. So I did see that she was stitching this, but I didn't know it was for me. So that was very sneaky of her. Isn't that awesome? I love it on the dark fabric. I think this is from one of the mini card sets, but I don't know which one. And then look at the back. That is awesome. It would never occur to me to do this to the back of a cross stitch piece, and it's totally awesome. So she put a little hanger on it so that if I wanted to, I could hang it. But right now I've got it sitting in my Halloween/fall tiered tray. I'll insert a picture here of what that looks like. So she sent me this awesome little stitched piece. And then she sent me some stickers, so cute. And she sent me a Halloween card, of course. Even the outside of the envelope had cute art on it. And then she even sent me a drawing, which is also awesome. Let's see, I can show it to you best this way. Isn't that lovely? She is such a good artist. So thank you so much, Tifa. I am grateful. Oh, and I'll just show you a little bit of this drawing as well that she did. Isn't that awesome? So she's very talented, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. You made my day. So even though it's been busy, people have been so kind and really making the busyness, you know, not so bad. It's just kind of that point in the semester where things are just crazy. And I'm working on next semester while I'm doing my various classes this semester, which makes it, you know, extra. There's just extra stuff going on. But the semester's going along well. My students are great. I love my students this semester. They're just so sweet and they're hardworking, and so many of them, they're just good people. Whether or not they're good at Spanish, they're good people. Some of them are better than others, but they're working really hard, and I just really enjoy them. So it's been a really busy semester, but I will miss them at the end of it because they're just a great group of kids in all of the classes. So I'm really enjoying my students this semester. Okay. Finishes. So my first finish is Helen D and I did a swap, and we left it open and we said it'll either be Halloween or Christmas. And we didn't have like necessarily like a time frame of when we would send it. We were just very vague. Clearly, if it's Halloween, you want to get up there by Halloween, or Christmas likewise. And she'd sent me her gift. I think that was what I showed in my last video. Boy, I'm like kind of, my brain can't remember anything. So I think it was my last video and not 2 videos ago. Maybe it was 2. I don't know. Anyway, I finally got mine done and sent it to Helen. And I sent her, so I was going to stitch Helen Christmas. And the reason I was going to stitch Helen Christmas is that I felt like I wasn't going to get Halloween done in time to stitch her Halloween, but I really wanted to do Halloween. So I started stitching that guy for Helen. And I was stitching it 1/1 on 28 count Lugana. And it was kind of like, I was just uninspired because it was, I don't know, September, and I was stitching my cardinal, and I was stitching my Christmas design, and then I was stitching this Christmas, and I really wanted to stitch fall. And I was super bummed in a way, even though that was very cute. I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to be stitching fall. And the only thing fall I had going was the When Witches Go Riding. So once Helen's gift came for me and it was Halloween, I was just like, you know what? Like, it's okay if I get it done kind of close to Halloween. She's probably going to forgive me if that's what happens. So then I just like dropped it and looked through my things and tried to decide what I should stitch for Helen. And I decided to stitch this owl from Boo Moon. And I was able to get this chart thanks to Betty Utlin. So thank you, Betty. I really enjoyed stitching this, and it stitched up very quickly. So I'll insert a picture here of what it looked like finished. So I sent that to Helen, and I was going to do it as an ornament, but I knew that Helen was trying to get her electrocuted bowl decked out. So I decided to do a pillow instead so that she could put it in there, which that's what she did. So Helen thought she was getting Christmas because I implied that I was stitching her Christmas, and I was in fact stitching her Christmas, but then I changed my mind. So that's the story of that. So that was one finish I had that was a fully finished object, and I did the cording for that using Vanna's tutorial. I had the orange fabric in my stash, and it was just like the perfect orange fabric for it. I love that fabric. I think it might be a reproduction print, but I'm not sure. And then the cording, I think I tried. I was going to do cream, and then I realized that wasn't going to look good. And I tried doing 3371, the brown that it's made of, and then that didn't look good. And so then I ended up picking an orange, and I don't even think it was the orange that was in the design, but I picked an orange that kind of went with the fabric, and then that was finally what looked right to me. So that's what I sent her. And I found at least that stitching cording onto a pillow is much easier than stitching cording onto like a flat ornament. So that went quicker. So that was one. And then my other finish, drum roll, I finished this. It's not FFO'd, but hey, it's FO'd. So, there we go. All done. And I'm so, so happy. I kind of couldn't believe it when I was done. Like, there was a feeling of disbelief because, you know, when I started this, like, July, late July. So I actually finished it. I think I started it like July 22nd or 26th, and then I finished it October 26th. So, there, that's better. This is just so, so cool. I love the expressions on the pumpkins' faces. You know, there's a lot of different emotions there. They have mixed emotions. I think this one looks surprisingly happy. I feel like she's taking it out to the trash or something, and it's like, sweet. I forgot to make one of these over here yellow. So that was an unintentional design change, and then I made the toadstool red so it would stand out a bit more. I had changed the gold and the orange, and then I think I also changed this gold slightly as well. So I love this design. It's so, so awesome. And I'm not sure realistically if I have time to finish this before Halloween, like fully finish it. I just don't know if I can manage that because of how my schedule is this week. If I can't, then I had mentioned several videos ago a piece I'd picked up that I was going to finish it on. And if I don't get it done for like my next video, then I'll just show you what I'm going to put it on one day. So you can see it, because it's really cool. And it looks really awesome right now, even without the When Witches Go Riding. So as I was getting towards the end, you know, once you hit that 2/3 mark, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be done. What else can I work on? Can I start something new? And then when I finished, I was like, okay, I am so ready for Christmas. I was actually listening to Christmas music while I was working on it towards the end there. So yeah, and then I was gonna start something new, but instead I went back to working on the thing I was gonna give to Helen. So this guy, I was like, let's see if I stop stitching on this just because I wasn't in the mood, or if there's something about it I don't like. So that's what I did. I started working on it again, and I decided I liked it. Now, I think it's too small. I don't think I should have done it. It's already a very small piece. Like, I think it's only... like, if you stitch this on 32 count, it's only 3 1/4 by 2 5/8. So it's very small. I didn't really need to put it over 1. But whatever. So you can see how wee this is. And also, there's not a lot of great contrast for the snow. I thought it would be enough, and it's not bad. You can kind of see the levitating snowflake there, and there's some snow down here. I stitched the most boring parts first, like the snow, to try and get that out of the way. So I have a Christmas party coming up that my local shop does, the yarn and fabric shop in town does, for all the teachers and staff that work there. And I need a gift, and I'm contemplating making this my gift. And then I had this vision of a tree with all of these tiny little pieces on it. And I was like, well, that would be pretty cool if I just kept it and did that. Probably it'll be gifted, but there's a chance that someday, 10 years down the road, there could be a tree full of tiny guys, tiny snowmen, and tiny Santas. I really love this booklet, by the way. I remember when it first came out, I like had to have it right away because they are just the cutest. Yeah. So if you don't have this one, I think you probably need it. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know. I'm envisioning a tag finish like Vana does, and just like a small one. I think that's what I'm going to do with it someday when I have time to finish it. I don't feel right now like I'm that pressed to fully finish things, mainly because I have so little time for like fun that I just want to stitch if I have time. So I'm not really worried about fully finishing things right now. I figure when I have more time, maybe next semester or the summer, I'll finish a bunch of stuff. But right now, there's just so little time that I'm going to just stitch or quilt or whatever I can fit in. Okay, so that was kind of a new start, sort of, as well. Other whips. The only other whip I've got that I've been actively working on is my 'Tis the Season Ubiquitous Cardinal. And I actually made some pretty good progress on this. Really, it became, once I got the branch going a little bit more and the berries and these leaves, it became quite addicting. And it was hard to put down. It's so beautiful. So I am just loving this a lot. And I'm kind of enjoying just working on it slowly when I can. It's just kind of, I'm just savoring it, I feel like. So I don't feel any rush to get it done. There's no point in feeling rushed because I'm not going to get it done anytime soon. So yeah. So I've done finishes, whips from the archives. I'll just show one thing this time. And so the funny story about this. I'd been following Priscilla on Instagram. And then when she and Chelsea started doing their Flosstube videos, then I watched those as well. And I loved the way they finished their things. And I was just getting back into cross stitch at that point. So like last summer, mid to late summer. I went to Michael's early on, when they were getting their Halloween stuff out, just to see if there was anything I could find that I could finish my cross stitch on. And I saw this sign. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is perfect. That is exactly what Priscilla and Chelsea would use to finish something. And I bought it. And I went home and I kind of racked my brain of like, what do I have? I didn't have anything like stitched up. But I was like, what do I have in my stash that I could put on that? And I came up with the perfect thing. I had it already kind of kitted up and everything. And then, hilariously, they did later finish, their pieces using that same sign. So I think I was doing a pretty good job of like, what would Chelsea do? Like, oh, well, okay, I figured it out. So anyway, and the funniest thing about, I think, all of it is that I think it was Chelsea's piece that was finished first on the sign, and Chelsea started her piece well after I did and finished it well before I did. So here is what I ended up putting on mine. This is from the trilogy. This is Halloween Sneak Peek. And my wire isn't anywhere near as awesome as their coily wire was. But, whatever. I did what I could. So I had my mom, I kept looking around for a piece of wood that would fit this. And in the end, I put in an order to my mom and told her what size I wanted the wood to be, and then I stained it with I think a couple different colors of stain to try and get kind of a blackish gray. And honestly, you can't even see it anyway, so I don't know why I was so concerned about the color, but I was. So I'd had this in my stash for a really long time, and I was so happy to finally stitch it. I think the thing that sold me on it was the kitty. I really liked the border. It's a really good border. Let's pull that down just a bit. And yeah, this was just like so fun, and I was just, it's a great design. So then it's finished on this orange fabric that I had in my stash, and then there's a pom-pom trim that I got at Joann's. And it's awesome. So this hangs above the doorway in my living room. So that's my From the Archives. That was using, I think it was mostly Weeks. I really liked working with onyx. I like that color a lot. And I think there's also whiskey in there, which was another color I quite liked. I had thought I was going to use fewer of the over dyes, but I just liked the look of them so much that I decided I would use most of them. Okay. Plans. I've got 2 plans. So the first one is Helen and I. This is all about Helen, this video. It's just all about Helen. It's all about Helen appreciation. Helen and I decided we wanted to do, a while ago, we talked about doing maybe some kind of prairie schooler stitch along. And then recently we started to finalize those ideas. And so I said, why don't you get like, you know, look through your stash, pick out like 4, you know, kind of Christmas charts that you like, and I'll go to my stash and I'll pick out like 3 or 4, and then we'll compare. So we messaged each other, and then the only chart that we had in common, if I remember correctly, was this one. This one is currently out of print, so I'm sorry in advance that I'm showing you something that you can't get at the moment, but I can't imagine that they won't bring it back. At least I'm pretty sure it's out of print. So the other thing that Helen had that of course I wanted was button up. But I don't have button up. And so we made a deal that we would start November 1st, because that would give me time to finish When Witches Go Riding. And then I said, well, I really want to do button up. So if button up gets re-released by November 1st, we'll stitch that. But if button up does not get re-released by Hoffman, then we'll do Happy Christmas. So I waited and I waited and I waited, and I felt like, well, this is clearly not going to happen this year. And so I was like, okay, well, we're doing Happy Christmas then. Isn't that adorable, by the way? So I went through and tried to figure out what I wanted to stitch it on, and I decided that I was going to stitch it on my own fabric, on my Midnight fabric. And I'm going to brighten up the colors a little bit, because they were a little bit paler than I wanted. I don't even think I need the black. It's just for the eyes of the squirrels. And then I'm going to do this for the deer, and I think this is going to be my squirrel color. It's kind of an orangish red, like a fox squirrel, those little tiny feisty squirrels. So that's what I'm going to use. And then you'll have heard perhaps, because I was on the Prairie Schooler Students Facebook group the other day, that they just re-released Button Up. And I saw it and I like completely flipped out, and I texted Helen at like, I don't know, 6 in the morning or something. And I'm like, Helen, they're re-releasing it. Oh my God, what do we do? And then I was like, can we start it? And she's like, well, you know, you might not have it by November 1st. And I was like, true. So she texted Amy of Amy Loves Toads to let her know, because apparently that's like one of Amy's unicorns too. And she's like, Amy wants to do a stitch along, you know, with us when we do it. And I was like, I thought about it for a while, and I was like, yeah, we should just do this because this is a Christmas piece, and then do the button up after that. So I was like, what about Christmas Day? We do a stitch along, because Christmas Day is one of the few days where you can't go anywhere. I mean, you can go see your family, but everything's closed. So we agreed that we will be stitching button up on Christmas Day, and please join us if you would like to. I'll be getting some copies of button up in my Etsy shop, and so I'll let you know when those are in. So I have it on order, and I'm looking at the flosses. I just asked in the Facebook group about what the floss colors were so that I could start picking a fabric for it. So I pulled the flosses, and I've been kind of playing around with some fabrics that I've got in the works and I'm still debating. So I'm gonna see what I might use. If I'm gonna use something kind of creamy, if I'm gonna use something kind of blue, if I'm gonna create a new color to stitch it on, I'm gonna try to figure that out and I'll let you know what I can come up with. There's not a hashtag for it yet. I was kind of thinking, but I haven't talked about this at all with anyone, of like something like button up for Christmas, Sal? Button up Christmas? I don't know. We'll talk about it. I'm sure Amy or Helen or I or someone will come up with something. So do not stress yourself, but get yourself a copy of Button Up because yay, there's much rejoicing because Button Up is available finally. I think that was kind of one of my last main unicorns. So I'm really happy. You want to know what my other unicorn was? And I just got it. Ta-da! I saw this come up on eBay. I had a saved search for it. And I won the auction for it, and it was a very reasonable price, and I was so happy to get it. It was very nicely packaged by the seller. She put a little nice note. And she even put "Do Not Bend" on the envelope. But if you've watched for a while, you know that my mail carrier could care less about "Do Not Bend" and was sure to bend it and stick it into the mailbox. And I was even watching. Somehow he got by me. So I don't know how long this was in there, but at least it looks pretty good. I was like, it's an out of print chart. Come on, guy. Seriously. It's so good. And so Helen's like, well, that'll have to clearly be our next sale, but then Button Up. So now I've got like, Ellen and I have our next sale, and then we have our next sale, and then we have our next sale, which will be this. So that's one of my pieces of haul. My other haul is I'm going to try, I got the little stretcher bars. I decided to get the 6-inch so I could try doing an ornament on it just to see if I liked it. And then I got this to try as well on Amazon. I read mixed reviews of how great these tacks are or not, but I'm just going to try it and see if I like it. I can stitch in hand a little bit, but my hands can tend to cramp up, so that's why I tend not to stitch in hand anymore. But this might be a good way to do it. And also just to have some other sizes of frames if I end up liking this, that I don't have to always use scroll rods. So that was the other thing I purchased. Looks like that's all of my stuff. The only other thing is a quick Etsy shop update. I'm happy to say that I added a couple of new kinds of fabrics and I've got just a lot more bases in my shop consistently now. So the new bases are 32 count Lugana. Previously I had 28 only. And I got 28 count Monaco. Unfortunately, it's already all sold between when I posted the announcement and sent out the newsletter and now. It's already gone, but I have more Monaco that I'll be dyeing up for my next update. So now thank you so much for your support. I've been able to grow my shop enough to be able to do more bases. So now I regularly have 40, 36, 32, and 28 count linen, 18, 16, and 14 count Aida, the 28 and 32 count Lugana, and the 28 count Monaco. The bad thing about the Monaco is that it is out of stock from my distributor now. And I called, so I've just got like, I don't know, a few pieces left of it that I'll dye for the next update, and then I'm out. And I called my distributor, and they don't know when they'll get more in. It's up to Charles Craft, and that could be kind of any time. So I'll keep watching for it, and as soon as I can get more in, I will, and I will get a lot more this time because apparently the supply is unreliable, unfortunately. Just not consistent the way that like Zweigart products are. So the good news is that I have Monaco. The bad news is I don't have much of it and I don't know when I'll get more, but I will definitely get more. I really like how it takes the dye. It's so pretty and I like stitching on it. I think you're going to really like it. So I will have some for the next update. My next update will be coming up this week when I release my design, so you can look for that. No Spooky October today. It's at my local quilt shop on display. She's got some kits of it there, so that's why it's not on the shelf. I've got my kitty instead from Target last year. I hope that you have an awesome Halloween if you like Halloween, and if you don't like Halloween, I hope you have an awesome Wednesday and an awesome week. Can't believe the month's almost over. I hope you've been getting lots of stitching time in. I hope I personally get more stitching time in. I need more. I look forward to seeing you again shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.